Okay, look at who we have here. We got a rookie head coach of the Combine. You are. What's up, man? Nathaniel Hackett, head coach of the Denver Broncos. First off, congrats, man.
Thank you so much.
Long time coming.
Thank you.
We've known each other for a long time.
Very long time.
You know, just for people out there, Nathaniel and I go back to the 2005 Bucks.
Yep.
Right? Nathaniel's father, Paul Hackett, my favorite coach in my life.
My favorite too.
Oh, he's your favorite too?
My favorite coach
Shocker.
too.
I don't know. Sometimes he's your dad. You might be like, he's annoying. I don't know.
He is, but he's still my favorite.
Amazing. It really is. And he was my favorite coach. He taught me so much about quarterbacking. You were there with me in Tampa. We had a great run. And then, of course, you went to Syracuse right after that, right?
No, actually, Buffalo.
You went to Buffalo
Buffalo
first?
was quality control coach there for 2 years. Then went to Syracuse.
Yes. Okay, so that was
then
how
back
it
to
went.
Buffalo.
Then back to Buffalo.
It's been crazy.
It really has.
Yes.
I mean, like when you think about it and just digest it all, are you amazed where you are right now?
I'm absolutely amazed. I mean, I was telling people a little bit ago, I didn't even know this existed during this time. There was media here, and just to be here, be next to you, and talk about the fact that head coach of the Denver Broncos is just a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, Broncos, the team itself. I mean, you got some questions about things that need to be done as far as the football team. There's these rumors out there, Nathaniel. Okay,
I just hear rumors. I never know.
Well, I want to dive back into it regardless, all right? And a little of the Aaron Rodgers, just talk. And this is just as a football, and just evaluate, like just yourself, what it was like to be in the relationship with him the last few years, and what's it like to coach Aaron Rodgers.
It's amazing. I think, when you're around a guy like that, you learn as much as you think that you're teaching someone.
Yeah.
And just being with him, just getting to know the man himself, he means so much to me. He's I don't even know what you'd call him, whether it's a brother, a father, a friend. And
to me, I call him the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. That's what I call him.
He's pretty good, but I think he's a better person. I think that's the thing that people don't.
That's cool to hear.
They just don't understand that about him. I mean, how he is with his team, how he is as a person. It's unbelievable. And, it was just such a great experience to be with him, and I learned so much from him. I hope I taught him a couple things.
Right.
But I know I learned quite a bit from him.
Well, all right. So I got to ask you one more thing about that, all right? Just with him, the person is always under attack with Aaron Rodgers for some reason, and I'm one of his biggest defenders. Tell people out there a little bit, like, what is it that makes him so cool, and what makes people gravitate towards him?
I think it's the first and foremost, it's just his caring of his team, of the people that are around him. I mean, it's so much about the team for him, and I think you can never see that unless you're in the locker room with all the guys. And I love his knowledge for other things than just football. I think that's something that's so hard to come by. I mean, he is all ball. He loves football, but just the different perspectives he has on life and the way that he looks at things. And it's always a discussion. It's never trying to convince you of anything or say, hey, your way is the wrong way or his way is the right way. It's just discussions and information gathering. And I just really always appreciated that of him.
Well, that's where you're great. Your dad was that way. You could have discussions and talk things out and go, wait, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense.
He was a teacher. He loved teaching you about music and everything.
So, damn. So there's another thing. So you're doing some music with Aaron Rodgers. That's the Hackett family is famous for their music trivia on a Saturday morning.
Well, that was definitely Dad. I had to go through a lot of that. I would always get the preps before you guys would go through your music education. He'd tell me, bring his Billboard music out and read me the history of doo-wop and hip-hop and everything. Right. So, but no, we do a couple other things. Spice it up.
You spice it up a little bit?
Well,
you
have to.
Okay, all
right.
It's
a long season.
Yeah, you're right. That. I know it is. Now it is, definitely. All right, so now Denver itself. You had a few interviews the last 2 years. Denver, the team, the job itself. Just tell us, like, appealing, why, what about it, the team that you like so much?
I mean, first and foremost, it's the Denver Broncos, man. I mean, as a kid, being in Kansas City and just that rivalry, that game was the one that you circled.
Dad was offensive coordinator with the Kansas City Chiefs.
5 years. It was the one place that I was at the longest. Joe Montana.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, he was just being in that situation, being there, being part of that history of watching John Elway versus Joe. I mean, was just, it's some of the best games ever. And so that was always something that kind of hit me right out the gate. The fans, just how the atmosphere is, in Power
It's a special
High.
place.
I mean, it really is.
It is.
And then all of a sudden you get to meet George. And I think that was the thing that just blew my mind. I mean,
was there any prior relationship between you two?
No, none at all.
So this was an interview, first time you met him?
Just interview. We went in there. It was there was 6 people, and all the people that were there were just absolutely amazing. Rich and Ray Jack and Kelly and Patrick. I mean, Darren. I mean, it was just the whole setup on how we did it, how we talked, how they handled themselves, how just kind of the conversation went, the communication. You could tell that there was a great vibe there, and that we were going to be able to create a great communication and be on the same page.
Right.
And I think that was the thing that really got me excited about this opportunity.
Right. All right. So now the team itself, there's some things to be really excited about with the Denver Broncos.
No doubt.
So how do you go about that? Just, when you get the job, do we just go right into let me watch film, evaluate everybody on the team, and go through it that way?
Not a lot of people tell you, about this whole experience when you become a head coach first time.
I bet.
I told somebody I felt a little bit like Jerry Maguire. All of a sudden, you're on the phone for nonstop trying to assemble a staff. Right. I think that's the number one most important thing, is to be able to get a great staff, a great group of guys who are going to be able to work together. I thought we did a great job at that at Green Bay when we were there, and we got such a cohesive group of guys. And so I wanted to try to create that as much as I possibly could. So that was kind of the first task at hand.
Yeah.
And I think we've got that accomplished. We're done with that. And then now you jump full bore into the evaluation of the roster and the draft and installing the system to everybody. So, I mean, it's never ending, but the staff was really the biggest thing in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. So there's two things I want to hit on there. Like, how much film are we watching like right now? Is it just like going like player to player, sit down as a staff and you just go through the whole team?
Well, everybody the first thing we did was kind of try to get a feel for what we want to do and then who fits in those different areas right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you want to have a system that's able to maneuver enough around people, because you never know who's going to be on your team.
Right.
I mean, every team is
Modern
different every
NFL,
year.
yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, heck, you don't even know who's going to be on your team
next
10.
week, right?
So I think that was kind of the starting point to see, who's here, how they fit, how they're going to be able to get better, if they're going to be able to do different things that we'll ask.
And while you're doing this, you're also keeping in mind and telling your coaches how you want to run your offense. Is that how it goes down?
Yeah,
because
again, you want to kind of build that, show everybody the offense, show what you have, how you can maneuver those things, because like we said, we have to adjust it to the players, because it's all about the players. And I think that's kind of been ongoing. So you're watching guys, the coaches made tapes, they watch their players, so you have as much as you possibly can to just continue to watch tape. And our families aren't there, so that's the one thing that kind of goes on with this. Whenever you're moving, my beautiful wife and children are still in Green Bay, and so I'm at the office all the time, because if your family's not home, you just kind of keep working. So there's a lot of tape watching, there's a lot of bonding with the staff, trying to get to know all those guys even better, and it's just this ongoing process. It's awesome.
Well, I'm interested also in your influences as like your ex-coaches, because you have a kind of an interesting coaching tree. I mean, there's the Gruden, there's your dad. There's Doug Marrone from the Parcells coaching tree. You got LaFleur, with the Shanahan-McVay tree. So, like, how do you pull it all together? What have you done over the years to formulate what you want to do here?
I'll tell you, you look early in my career, and I think I had drawn about 8 different offensive playbooks for all kinds of different people. Yeah. And I played defense, and so I was working on the defensive side of the ball, doing a little bit of everything. So I think at Syracuse is where, Coach Marrone and I were able to sit down and kind of bring all the systems that we had been around and kind of create the first system.
Right.
But all systems evolve. And I think as I kind of moved forward, created another one for the Buffalo Bills. Then once we got to Jacksonville, created another one there. Always trying to adapt it to the quarterback.
Might have been your best work there in Jacksonville, honestly.
That was a great year, 2017.
That was.
And I think that you're always trying to make it so you're fluid enough in the system and you're learning much. And I think that for me, the final kind of system that I wanted to really dive into was this outside zone Mike Shanahan world, Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
And that's where, Matt came into effect for me. And that's why it was such a great opportunity to go there and learn that. So I've had so much different experiences in different systems that it's allowed me to kind of pick and choose the things that I really want to do and really want to emphasize, but always knowing you have these other things so you can be adjustable to the players.
Sure.
And so now I think we've got a real tight system.
So we're in West Coast offense language still, though?
Yes, I would say quite a bit of it is. It's more of the training of the quarterback, the verbiage of just the words to trigger a read, a progression, a footwork for the quarterback.
Gotcha.
That's really, let's face it, the West Coast is gone.
Yeah.
The actual Z-in and
the old
stick looky.
Hank and all those.
Those have kind of disappeared, but how you train the quarterback, I think, is that's what my dad would always talk to me about.
Right, that's where he got me.
That's the West Coast world, is how you train him through the footwork, through the feet, through the
eyes.
Yeah, the eyes, the understanding of where you're going to go with the ball. We're going to go within the progression before you've even gotten the ball.
Matching your feet with your eyes.
Oh, everything, because your feet never lie.
Right.
It's the one thing that you have. That's why
right.
I think the way you coach the quarterback in that West Coast world is how you can become so efficient. So that's there, a big component of that in the drop back quick game world, but then there's this wild play pass outside zone world for the explosive plays that has come in from the other side.
A
lot of good.
Yeah, a lot of good. It really is. You got to have the versatility, like you said, in the NFL. But now we got a quarterback question in Denver. Like, so, as you sit here, all things open right now as far as the avenues might go? I mean, where does the current status stand?
You know, I think we've been, again, it's that communication with George has been amazing.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of talk about everybody. I have so much respect for Teddy. Going against him when I was at Syracuse, when he was younger there. I mean, the things that he did there. Watching Drew, you know, Drew's been in so many different systems, and you know how that's a hard thing to jump in
quarterback
systems. I mean, you actually it could be detrimental, and so I think that, you know, it's a clean slate for everyone, and I think it's you know, we want to do what's best for Denver, and we'll move forward from that in that way.
Yeah. Okay. And then, you know, most importantly, defensive coordinator, got an old name, a buddy coming from the Rams, E.J. Evero, right?
Yep.
Just tell me kind of how that came about, and what do you expect your defense to kind of look like?
Well, you know, when I took this job, or when I was even thinking about potentially even having an opportunity to be a head coach, you always kind of look at, okay, who's the coordinator going to be? Who's the special teams coordinator going to be? And I think for me, you always start off with what's the hardest defense to go against? And the Rams have been spectacular for the past couple years. I mean, you could just look at it. It's not just because of the players. It's actually trying to get the scheme and how they're able to isolate certain people.
Right. Raheem, Wes,
no doubt. Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips,
yep,
yes.
Wade and Raheem.
Right.
I mean, you've had Staley. You've had all these guys.
Right.
And I think that's been something that's been so great. And it just happens that a guy that I've known almost over half my life.
Tampa, was it? Or was he before Tampa?
We went to college together. So we went to college together. Then he was at Tampa. He came with us at Tampa. So he was with Monty Kiffin.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden he leaves and he goes to be with Vic Fangio at the 49ers. Then he goes to Green Bay to be with Dom Capers at Green Bay. Then he goes to the Rams to be with Wade Phillips, and he's there for 3 years. And, you know, he won a Super Bowl, been to a lot of playoff games, been very successful. And I think that having that defense that for me personally was hunting, and at the same time all of his background to have those different kinds of defenses, it's not one system, but it's so many other things that I think it was too good to be true.
Right.
You know, and
it's kind of like you.
Yeah,
I mean, he got other schemes to pull from,
no doubt,
and have the versatility.
That's so important.
Agreed.
So important because you know, if you're stuck in one kind of system, there's always going to be some weaknesses.
It becomes too predictable. Somebody's going to have all the answers for it.
So all of a sudden, when you've got those other things in the back of your mind to be able to protect, and you know the weaknesses of a defense, you can adjust. So I think that's something I'm excited about for you, Jero.
Okay, you know, I'm not trying to belabor this topic. I'm going to ask you one more or two more questions, okay? All right, because I'm keeping you long enough. But like the quarterback thing, where I'm interested too is I would love for you just to tell everybody, like, just, you know, we know you can win with a middle of the road quarterback, or you can, you can be a successful team. You don't have to have a superstar, but talk about what a superstar does do for your offense, like an Aaron Rodgers. If you're experiencing that, what does he do to help the coach, the team on the field? What is it that makes that guy?
You know, I think it comes kind of back to that West Coast world.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was always trained, and my father would always talk about, is that any quarterback that walks in there, the system's got to be about him. It's got to be one vision. You have to adjust everything to him. So I think whoever you have at that position, it's my job to be able to put them in the best possible situation they can get into. So it's about finding out what those guys do. So as their kind of menu of things that they can do, it allows you to do more from a play calling standpoint, from a scheme standpoint. So I think whoever it's going to be, it's my job to find out what they do best. And I think that's something I've always loved to do. I think it's a challenge. I think it's great and exciting, and to be able to find those explosive plays, because one quarterback can be completely different than the other quarterback, but for me, I got to find
the way to do it.
Just like when you were playing, you're different than another guy. And so I think that everybody you're with, it's just about finding out what they do great. And whoever is that guy, got to find out what they can do and do it a lot.
That's why you're great. That's why your dad was great, and that's why you're going to be great. I mean,
Appreciate it.
It is. I just your ability to communicate with the quarterback and kind of live vicariously through them or with them to me is why people gravitate towards you, Nate. I'm like excited about your football team.
Thank you.
I really
appreciate it.
And Nathaniel Hackett, awesome, good friend, going to kick some butt as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Said all the right things, but I still am betting Aaron Rodgers will be there no matter what he says. See you later. You're the
Love
man.
you,
Thanks,
Chris.
Nathaniel.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.